Hello everyone, thank you for taking some time to watch my presentation. To begin, I will start by talking about the three big contributors to our energy crisis, including overpopulation, lack of funding, and war. To start off the discussion on the energy crisis occurring in today's world, I'll first talk about overpopulation. The world's population is about 7.8 billion people and growing. Many countries around the world have such large populations that their country's energy production cannot keep up. According to the global energy demand change data between 2011 and 2018, energy consumption has doubled compared to the last 10 years. This is a result from the ever-growing population and the fact that life today requires more energy to power the things we use. For example, people who are driving electric cars now require a lot more electricity to charge their vehicles. Also, the technology market is growing, meaning people have more smart devices such as smart speakers, smartphones, etc., which also takes more electricity to power. As demand has gone up over the years, the supply has done its best to keep up, but many new factors such as environmental restrictions and other regulations have been put into place to help preserve the planet and protect our environment, which has caused road bumps in the process of creating energy. One of the second causes for our energy crisis is the lack of funding. Many countries are dependent on fossil fuels and crude oil, which are resources that will be depleted eventually, while also having many environmental drawbacks. The lack of funding for sustainable and renewable energy sources has been a huge contributor to the energy crisis. The following graph was retrieved from Africa Energy Portal and shows what % countries invest in renewable energy. Although the U.S. is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, we only invest 17% towards renewable energy. These decisions to choose where to invest are primarily made by elected officials, which makes it very important to do some investigating when it comes time to vote. By investing more into renewable energy sources, we could decrease our environmental impact and find a more sustainable way to create energy rather than depending on forms of energy that will at some point be completely gone. The last major cause I will be going over in this presentation is the effect of wars on the energy sector. Many of you have seen or heard about the war that is going on between Russia and Ukraine. In an effort from many countries to try and stop the war, they have cut off imported crude oil and petroleum from Russia to financially punish them for starting the war. With many countries refusing their imports, supply has gone down, creating a shortage for those countries. Looking at just the U.S., Russia imports lots of energy resources to us, as seen on the graph taken from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Similar to other countries, it has caused lots of economical problems for our country, including high prices for everyday items such as gas, food, clothes, and more, which has caused lots of financial grief for many lower-income families. The second part of my presentation, I will be going over the consequences, beginning with sociological problems due to the energy crisis. The first consequence from the energy crisis I will be discussing is the inaccessibility of energy for the poor communities in different countries. Since most energy sectors participate in a capitalist market, meaning that you must pay to receive the services that they provide, it makes it almost impossible for poor communities to get adequate access to electricity. Research conducted by Narini et al. Reported that more than 1.3 billion people of the world population still do not have access to adequate electricity. In Cameroon, Africa, a study was done which showed that only 20% of the rural and urban population has the privilege to direct electricity. This is a big problem because much of the population on Earth is unable to access the internet, heaters, air conditioning, medical equipment, and many more other items that we deem as necessities in our daily lives. By funding energy for these areas of poverty, we could change the lives of billions of people, bringing them a higher standard of living. Moving on to the ecological consequences, one of the biggest problems for our energy crisis is that most of our energy creation pollutes our air, the most popular of them being the combustion of fossil fuels. Millions of people drive combustion engine vehicles. This is a very common form of energy usage most of us partake in. Combine this with the population problem and we have the situation described by the article Energy Strategy Reviews. The growing global energy need, coupled with increasing population, has led to the continual usage of fossil fuel-based energy sources, which is now considered problematic due to various challenges such as greenhouse gas emissions, depletion of fossil fuel reserves, and other environmental concerns. These greenhouse gases pollute our airways and create many problems for the earth around us. They travel to our atmosphere where they have been accumulating over the years and act as a fence blocking heat from leaving the earth. This alone causes many problems such as global warming, which melts the ice caps and causes the oceans to rise in temperature and level, causing harm to the fish and other species that live in our oceans. It is also one of the main contributors to inland rivers and streams going dry, such as the Colorado River. By reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, we could help preserve the earth and help maintain the species that call it home. To conclude my presentation, it is vital for our existence, along with many other species on this planet, to start increasing our investments into sustainable and renewable energy sources so that we can maintain our quality of life, but also do our part in preserving the earth and all the life that calls it home. It is also important to help those that are in need by helping them develop a sustainable energy source so that everyone has access to the benefits of electricity. I'd like to thank you again for taking the time to watch my video, and I hope I may have taught you something during this presentation.